So I want to kind of let you know internally what I do, my strategy to create content, how I have such an easy time creating content. And I think that the strategy could be the same for you. It's just figuring out how to actually get to this step.
Yes.
My strategy to create content essentially revolves around this podcast right here. I'm all about working smarter instead of harder. So I found that I was doing a lot of one-on-one coaching calls. And then I was also, on a separate note, speaking to successful individuals about their business, asking them their stories. Very engaging, very good podcast as well. I realized, first off, I enjoy doing this more, what I'm doing right now. I'm already spending the time anyway. Why don't I just leverage that time better? So now I do what I already was doing. I turn it into a podcast. I take the video, I turn it into a YouTube video. So now I've got podcast and YouTube video with a 45-minute episode. I send it off to my video editor, who then takes a video that we're creating, for example, right now, clip it up into 7 smaller sections, and then I have an Instagram reel going out every single week. None of it's about me and my family going swimming on a Sunday afternoon. It's all about how to succeed, how to get better at real estate. And this is how you can really minimize the input, maximize the output. And then the more you do this, the more of an authority you become. So usually when it comes to creating content, I'm very big into creating categories of content to talk about. I think you could do that. I don't think you have to.
I'm looking for that.
Sorry?
I said, I don't think I'm looking for who that would attract.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do that. I think I would actually create something pretty similar. And let me ask you this then. First off, how open are you to creating content like this in a way that works for you, but like this?
That was one of my goals to get started for the new year. I have very, very minimal social media presence as it is.
Okay, so what about like a podcast, YouTube, any of those kind of resonating with you?
A podcast would be great.
And who would you interview on your podcast?
Probably other agents. One big thing that I kind of sat down and started planning a calendar for was just talking to other agents and doing market comparisons based off of what they have available, what we have available, what kind of returns those provide. And it also always helps to have referral agents. So, 2 birds, 1 stone, meeting new people that might have some business to send my way and vice versa.
So I like 2 birds with 1 stone, but I'm going to give a different angle on this.
Okay.
Maybe instead of interviewing other realtors, you can interview successful investors in your area and ask them about their story. Because let's face it, if you were to go over to a successful investor and say, I'd love to grab a cup of coffee with you, I'd love to pick your brain. No, thanks, I'm busy. When's the last time this person was asked to come onto the show to talk about how successful and wonderful they are?
Well, funny that you mentioned that. I was following it was on Facebook, actually. They have tons of different investor groups, and I kept seeing posts from one person. Their name on Facebook is the Wolf of Wholesaling or something to that nature. And I actually messaged him on Facebook. I'm like, you're one of the first people I've seen with a genuine and realistic framing for wholesaling deals, because that's the new hot trend that everybody wants to jump on right now. Do you have some time in January to sit down and tell me about yourself, tell me about your strategy and how you came up with that? And he was very receptive, said, absolutely, let's get it on the calendar. There was no pushback at all.
Yeah, honestly, exactly. And imagine even if, take it to another level, like not only are you asking them to put it on the calendar, but you're asking them to come onto your podcast to talk about it. Like, it just sweetens the pot so much more. It's a new opportunity. And now you're building, you can get anyone. You can get realtors, successful realtors on your show and build your network like there. You can get investors, which could be your clientele, onto the show. And John's interested in that, because all John cares about is, I want to know, what did those successful people do and how can I do that? And so you get those successful people, you bring them to John's stereo in his car while he's driving wherever he's driving to. And he just puts it onto the podcast and he listens for 45 minutes while you talk to one of the most successful investors in his area and talks about how he got started when he was 30 years old by doing this one simple trick. And now look at him. Now he's a mega multimillionaire. So you're attracting John, you're building connections with some of the biggest real estate investors in your area, and you're creating content all at the same time.